Hello, Dr. Byron C. Phillips, MBA, your professor, your consultant, and your tennis pro. Topic for the video is the dimensions of master teaching and master leading and managing. Are you teaching your classes and supervising your direct reports using research-based principles? Are you conscious and deliberate, or unconscious and not deliberate in your approach to teaching, researching, leading, and managing? Is your teaching and leading based on scientific cause and effect principles, or the way you learned it and what feels right? Are you combining art and science? Do you believe that first there's a science of teaching and leading and managing, and then we inject the art with our own personality and context? I researched, wrote, and trained many people based on a treatise that I wrote many years ago called A Guide to Master Teaching and Leading. The dimensions for master teaching and leading are planning, because we know that if you don't have goals, you might end up somewhere totally different than where you intended to be. We have to begin with the end in mind and then backward plan to make sure that everything is in sync with our expectations at the finish line. 2 is setting the stage. I created a model called Building the Barn. You build on previous learning when you mentor, coach, and supervise or teach somebody. You actively involve them in the process. You relate it to their life and make it relevant, and you name the learning. This is what you're going to learn today or by the end of this fiscal year. 3 is managing. We know that there's a difference in management and leadership, but we must be effective managers to be truly effective leaders. 4 is motivation. We have to realize there are variables in the environment that we can control, like reward, retention, positive feedback, giving people unvarnished truth, and avoiding the stereotypical sandwich approach. When it's good, give positive feedback. When the behavior is not good, you have to give the negative feedback and then catch the person doing something right as quickly as you can. Modeling. We know that people don't care what we say. They are watching what we do. If a manager takes free lunches from the cafeteria or kickbacks from others, how can he or she expect others not to do the same? Direct and indirect teaching. There are times where people need direct feedback and teaching, and there are times when we have to be more subtle and draw it out intrinsically. Questioning. We must become adept at answering effective questions that run the gamut from knowledge to synthesis and evaluation. Bloom's taxonomy is a good model to follow to make sure that we do what I call KC and a silly elephant. Your questions should be knowledge-based, comprehension. They should be based on analysis, application, synthesis, evaluation, and creativity. We have to teach people to retain what they learn. And finally, we have to have closure. As we have said at the beginning of any meeting or instructional sequence, we built the barn. Now we have to close the learning, close the door with what I call a PS, a postscript. Have the people perform the task or new knowledge or skill set one more time and summarize in their own words what they learned. Apply those dimensions of master teaching and master leading